So $21 million.
Yeah.
So if I get $21 million, I can build a community?
Yeah, and put your children's name on it.
And put my kids' names on the streets?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah. Do anything you want.
All right, so here's my solution.
Okay.
So let me ask you, okay, real quick. It's $21 million to build it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you stand to...
Don't ask my profit, David. I know you're about to ask me.
Why wouldn't I ask you your profit? So what would you stand to gain? Well, I mean, like, what's the... I mean, it's not just you. It doesn't all go in your pocket, but like
Well, let me
investors.
just say this. So we have angel investors. Let's say you invested $100,000 into this project. We're looking at a return of 250% on that $100,000.
21 million times 200. That's 41. So, oh yeah, okay, all right. I feel like I could do that. You know what I mean? You get 21
It's projected, but
give me $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's projected, but let's just say worst case, and this is what I tell all investors, right? Everything is a risk, right? Mm-hmm. But the reason why that this is so good is because we're buying in an opportunity zone. So our capital gains is that's why we're building multifamily, because one, it helps the community, but we also get to sit on this project even longer. So it's a whole vehicle for opportunity.
What do you mean you get to sit on it longer? What do you mean?
Meaning that I don't need to sell it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So normally whenever we develop communities, whatever's left over, when we get to the 25% stage, we're usually unloading it and we're into another community. Well, with this one, being that it's in an opportunity zone and it's a catalyst for other opportunity zone projects, we will sit and hold this because we know, I just told you the 250% return. Well, if we sit here for 10 years, because we started at the beginning of when President Trump first announced the opportunity zones, all of our capital gains that we would have to pay on this project would be eliminated. So we would literally have this community to be performing for the next, we have about maybe 7 years left within it. And when we finish with it, if we decide to sell, we won't be taxed on the capital gains, right?
So when you say you sell the whole community.
Yeah, we sell whatever inventory's left. So like another developer come in and say, look, I need, and it's if they keep the opportunity zones, which I hope they do, because it helps inner city communities, especially with the type of system I have in place, but if I get to the point, let's just say, after my 10-year period or whatever, another investor want to come in and purchase it. If the opportunity zone initiative is still moving forward, then they're able to dump in their capital gains, and then it continues to keep the community up. The community is now receiving money that it has not received in decades. Gotcha. So that's the beauty of it. So whenever we look at returns, and the reason why we make so much is because, one, it is in an opportunity zone. So our capital gains is a huge benefit. The second thing is this property is, they're peanuts, right? Nobody want to buy it because it's in areas where you don't really see people buying. And so property values are very, very, very low, and when you come in and you build a mixed use community, such as, the one that we're doing, well, our returns are going to be extremely high. If our average cost per lot on 200 lots, let's just say 200, is $1,000 allocated per lot, do you know my bill cost with my lot cost? I'm in like less than $100K, if that, per lot, if things remain the same.
Mm. So how much are you selling the houses for now?
Oh, affordable. So our homes start at $169, and the highest that we sell in this community is $189. We wanted to start at $150 because that's where the sweetness at, right? That's where everybody needs it. But when lumber pricing went up, it knocked that completely out the bayou. We couldn't do it, Sure. But at $169, as soon as we break ground, they're going like this. This is a community where people said nobody's ever going to buy. This is a community that's been sitting dormant for over 12 years. I came in and I was like, you know what? This is disgusting.
Was it just land or they had houses on there?
No, it didn't have anything on there. It was just land. They had some old roads that we had to go, like we have to do these roads, right? But it was, it was filled with debris, David. Like it had tires and, all type of things you will find in an abandoned community, right? And it was one where they just used it as a dump.
All right, so here's my plan.
Okay.
So if I get some land,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to build some affordable housing, right? So it might be like project housing.
You want to build a project house?
I want to build a project.
So you want to work with the government?
Maybe.
Okay.
Kind of. Walk me through this. I don't know.
Okay.
So let's say the government gives me money to build affordable housing, a project building, 100 people stay in their joint, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the community, the other stuff I'm going to put is all empowering.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a really inexpensive gym, a community entrepreneurship center, healthy food options that's not super expensive. But I think that's how we can kind of put people here because of their circumstances, but develop them, because I'm a real big advocate for improving the community or the environment that you're around.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just solved the problem to Black
Well, let me ask you a question.
poverty.
Let me ask you a question, though. So why do you need the government to do that?
I know what you're thinking. How the heck do you make money from a podcast? Is David just doing this podcast because he likes it, or there's a heavily monetized strategy attached to it? Well, it's both. I really love talking and interviewing people and getting free game from really successful people. But also, this is a 7-figure podcast. I'm telling you right now, there's so much money in podcasting, and we're early in the space. I really feel like it's 2009, and I'm telling you to buy Bitcoin. I'm right now telling you to start podcasting because in 5-10 years, it's skyrocketing. Those are the names that are going to be the ones who have the voices in our world, the ones that start a podcast right now, okay? So I put together everything I know about podcasting in an easily digestible program, okay? So go to podcastersblueprint.com, and I got to give y'all some love, okay? Enter code SOCIALPROOF. I'm taking 20% off so you can get your voice heard, all right? So this podcast that you're loving and enjoying, there's other people that's going to love and enjoy yours too, okay? Podcastersblueprint.com. Let's get back to the episode. Because it's like Robin Hood. I'm taking from the rich, and I'm taking the money from the government and pouring it into the people.
And who money do the government have?
Our money, I suppose. Dang, that's deep. But, so how would you go about it?
I think that's a great idea, right? And that's what we're doing, right? So you're creating the type of community that's going to empower them to get from that community, right? I believe in subsidized. I don't want you to think I don't. I just believe we can do it without the government having so much control over our money. The moment, I think for me, the moment I know I am not in 100% control of my project where I'm putting majority of the money, then I'm probably not going to want to do that deal because I have to get permission to be able to make certain type of decisions. I don't want permission from the government. I think they have a lot of, projects where mines shouldn't matter much, right? But I just don't believe that every project that, and honestly, the word affordability, everybody think affordable housing ties to the government, but we're really building it without the government. That's why I was like, no, we're building economy-friendly properties.
Where you get the money from?
So myself, my partners, other investors, just regular people. And then I created, of course, Salt Capital, which is a real estate crowdfunding platform in Louisiana, where we utilize funds through that platform to be able to do other projects as well. But to be honest, our real estate crowdfunding platform have only funded 2 of those projects. We have literally used all of our own money to be able to do it. Remember, the bank said, we're not giving you money in this area, Terrica, because we just don't believe in it, okay? Well, now the banks are saying, oh, they're selling really fast. We'll give you one, right? We'll give you one loan, Terrica. We'll give it to you at 7% and 6-month term. Like, I do that myself. I don't need that, right? Now, if I look at the longevity of the relationship, I said, well, if I do this with you and it's a success, will you give me 10 at a time? They said, it's possible. So then I said, oh, okay, maybe it's worth considering it.
When you say they're going to give you one, they'll put a mortgage on one of the houses.
Well, they'll on one of the lots for me to build one house.
Gotcha.
For them to test it out. After they've seen the proven concept of all of the properties we put up and they're selling, and then we're starting 4 more without them. That means if we putting up this much money and you have a hard time, and you know how much the money is from the bank?
How much?
$120,000, if that.
So what's the point?
Yeah, right. But the point is with OPM, other people money, I can do a whole lot more. But because it's my money and because it's my partner's money, we're able to do 4 or 5 at a time because we still have a lot of other projects going on through SALT.
Dang. All right, so look, I'm going to ask you, because I'm not going to go to the government. I'm just going to come to you. I need $21 million, okay? Would you hold me down? Just so I got a vision. It's going to work.
I got to see the land.
All right. If I buy some dope land.
See, so to me, money is not like, that's a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. That is one of the easiest things to get and do, right? So like, for instance.
But you need 21 million of those pieces of paper, though.
Yeah, but when you look at it like that, it becomes really, really big, right? I look at it, if I tell you I'm going to put in XYZ and you're going to get XYZ, you're not looking at 21 million. You're looking at that ROI. Well, that's how I look at the project, right? So when I go and look at a project, I'm not like, yo, it's $21 million. I'm like, yo, I may make $200 million. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, so when I'm looking at it and I'm breaking down the numbers like that, it's a completely different perspective. And again, I don't do it for money. So I think that's another awesome part of it. Now, I make a lot of money doing it, don't get me wrong, but I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because nobody else would step up in these particular communities and do what we're doing, because it is a risk. You're risking $21 million in what they call the ghetto, right? But I believe that's where the sweetest spots are. And I believe that's one of the ways you can prevent gentrification is by being able to invest in those communities and keep it economically, thank you. Yes, economically affordable for the individuals within the community.
Yo, there was literally, and I got to show it to you. It was a young lady. Shouts out to Talia. If y'all know Talia, reach out to her. Dope in real estate. She has like 40 acres. And the guy, her client wants to sell it, but we got to get a survey, right? So, but it was like mad trees on there, and now I'm gonna reach out to her like, yo, actually, let me text her.
Yeah,
see what's up there.
You talking about I got some trees on that?
If you got the trees on it, I looked at it. It wasn't like super, like it wasn't cleared away. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, it needs to be clean, and then we can build stuff. So that's actually the deal, right? You see it? So don't say it out loud, but it's 40 acres.
For this price?
Yeah. You trying to get it?
Yeah, I want it today. Yeah.
Hey, Talia, if that land is still available, I'm going to call you in just a second. All right? Well, and yeah, I'm going to call you today. Okay.